It happened on an ordinary afternoon in downtown Brookfield, a place where the sidewalks were always full of people rushing between errands, coffee shops, and bus stops. But among the crowd that day, one figure moved more slowly than the rest, a man in his late 30s holding a long, white cane in one hand and in the other gripping the sturdy harness of a large German shepherd. The dog walked with precise steps, guiding him with quiet confidence. He wasn't just a guide dog anymore, he was a retired canine, and his instincts never faded. It was just a joke, he shouted, trying to laugh it off. But the crowd wasn't laughing. An older woman snapped back. "You kicked a blind man's dog?" As Rex stood protectively between David and the biker, the sunlight caught the faint engraving still visible on his old collar. K9 UNI Brookfield PD. David knelt down, running his hands over Rex's face. "Good boy," he whispered softly. The crowd applauded. A murmur spread through the crowd. Someone whispered, "That's not just a guide dog, that's a police dog." The next morning, he simply guided David down the same street, calm and focused, like nothing had happened. But the people who saw him now knew the truth. This wasn't just a guide dog. This was a hero who had served twice, once in uniform and once in silence for the man who needed him most. Headlines read, "Retired K9 protects blind man from motorcycle prank gone wrong." Kyle's so-called joke went viral for all the wrong reasons, sparking outrage online. Thousands of people donated to service dog charities in Rex's name, and Captain Rhodes, after seeing Rex in action one last time, made a call to the department. He pulled some strings to make sure Rex's medical checkups and food would be covered for life, honoring the hero who never stopped protecting. His ears pinned back, his eyes locked on the threat. Before David could even process what was happening, Rex lunged, pulling free of the harness, sprinting toward the motorcycle with a precision that left the crowd stunned. Kyle barely had time to react before Rex leapt, knocking the bike sideways. Kyle's face drained of color as he realized who he was dealing with. "I didn't know it was just a prank," he stammered. But Rhodes wasn't buying it. He stepped closer, his voice low and calm. "You assaulted a service animal, interfered with a blind civilian, and endangered public safety. That's not a prank. That's a crime." The motorcycle skidded and crashed into the curb, sending Kyle sprawling onto the pavement. His friend tumbled off behind him, their phone clattering to the ground. The crowd erupted into shouts, some rushing to help David, others gathering around the fallen bike. His name was Rex. To everyone passing by, he looked like just another guide dog doing his duty. But Rex wasn't just any dog. The sound of a revving motorcycle cut through the busy street, loud and out of place. A man in a black leather jacket rolled to a stop on his bike, glancing around like he was looking for trouble. His name was Kyle, a loudmouth prankster known in his circle for pulling jokes on random people and filming them for social media clout. When he spotted David and Rex waiting at the crosswalk, a twisted grin spread across his face. "Hey, watch this," he said to the friend riding behind him, already pulling out his phone. "Let's see how funny this is." He kicked his leg out as he passed close to the dog. Not hard enough to injure, at least that's what he told himself, but hard enough to make Rex stumble and yelp in surprise. The crowd gasped. David froze, confused, gripping Rex's harness tightly. "Rex, what happened?" But before anyone could react, Kyle laughed loudly, revved his engine, and sped a few feet ahead, looking back to see if his joke got a reaction. What he didn't expect was Rex's response. 2 police cruisers pulled up fast, and out stepped none other than Captain Rhodes, Rex's former handler. He froze when he saw the dog. He said, disbelief in his voice. Rex's ears perked up. For a brief second, the hardened canine inside him seemed to remember his old partner. He let out a soft whine. In one fluid motion, Rex spun, his training kicking in. Kyle scrambled to his feet, furious. "What the hell is wrong with that dog?" he yelled, clutching his scraped arm. Kyle's expression shifted from anger to panic. He looked around and realized people were filming. Moments later, the distant sound of sirens approached. It turned out a plainclothes officer nearby had witnessed the entire thing and called it in. Captain Rhodes quickly pieced together what had happened from the crowd's accounts. As Kyle was handcuffed, Rex returned quietly to David's side, pressing against his leg, his breathing calm again, his duty complete. Later that evening, news stations aired the footage caught by bystanders. As for Rex, he didn't care about the headlines or the praise.